Yeah.
Hello, how you doing today? It's me, David Schuster, running for U.S. Senate for the great state of Tennessee. Today I want to talk to you about poverty and minimum wage. Okay, I got some papers here. First one is the ASPE, which is from the Office of Assisted Security for Planning and Evaluation. It gives the poverty numbers here for one family, one member, two member, three, and so on. And this is the amount of money you're allowed to make before you're able to collect help from the federal government. Now, I went through this. Okay, it says a family of one, so just basically one person can only make needs to make less than $12,760 in order to get federal aid. Family of two, which is like me and my wife, can only make $17,240 to get federal aid. We get federal aid. I get Social Security disability and stuff, and my Social Security disability doesn't pay me that much. So I'm still in poverty. And I'm running for U.S. Senate so we can try to change some of these things. So I showed you that one, okay? Now I got a thing here that I figured out off of these numbers. And one person, I divided it by how many hours they'd work for a 40-hour week the whole year, which comes to 2,060 hours a year. Okay, and at the 12,760, it comes to like $6.20 an hour. $6.20 an hour. So at least, you know, it's not even keeping up with minimum wage. And then a family of two. Okay. A family of two broken down at that amount for how many years for a year by hours equals $8.29 an hour for a family of two. Now, if they're both working, yeah, they can make what, $14.50 because it's $7.25 an hour here is minimum wage. Okay, so you know that's those two, the poverty guidelines and that. Now I want to speak to you about, you know, a single person that's on poverty to get help and stuff. You know, a single person can't really get help because they're single. There's no family, no kids, no nothing. But I got a sheet here that is on, I live in Maryville, which is right next to Knoxville. I have this here, which gives you the average cost per apartment. All right. The average cost off of Abner Cruise, which is 32% higher than Knoxville average, says that a average apartment cost is $1,433 a month. And you times that by 12, it equals to be $17,196. But they also give an adjusted one here that is Adair Gardens rent is 7% lower than Knoxville average at $1,010 a month, which still equals $12,120 for the year. He's got $12,760 before you can get help. And like I said, a single person don't get it really. But then even if you take it and you go by two-income family like myself, it's $17,240 a year. Okay, $12,120 to rent an apartment. Now I'm fortunate; I had a business, and when I moved up here, I knew I was going to go on to disability, so I made it feasible for myself because I carried 140,000 in credit card debt, carrying my business for 2 years from '05 to '07 before I shut it down. So what I did when I auctioned off my trucks, I ended up getting like 60,000 or so extra than what I owed on the two trucks. So I took that and I put some money down on a foreclosed house. I got the house. I got my payment. It's $600 a month. So I'm not having to pay this, and that's with my escrow. That's with my insurance and my taxes, because my loan itself is only like 400, but I pay 620. So I made it feasible for us to get by on that money. But a regular person that didn't have that money to start with is really screwed. Now I got another sheet here. And remember, that's before electric, that's before cable, that's before internet, that's before telephone, and that's before water. So, it all adds up. Like I said, I'm scraping by and I could use some help. If you want to donate, you can go to my Twitter page. I got a button there. You can help me out. You get somebody that's like you, that's running for the U.S. Senate, instead of these millionaire guys out there that are already sold out because they're working for the donors, not the people. I'm working for the people. Now, I got this statistics here. This is on Memphis, though, the other side of the state. Okay, where they were trying to go for the 15-hour wage here, 15 an hour. Okay. Now it says, I'm going to read it to you. It says, how much does it take to make ends meet in the Memphis metro area? If you're a single adult, you need to make at least $10.48 an hour. Single adult with one child, $20.18 an hour. Two working adults with two kids, $13.28 an hour per person. Now the $10.48 an hour equals to be $21,588 a year. For a single person, that's not bad. No, he can afford the $12,000 for his apartment, which is over half of it. And then the other things. But I did also a thing on how much people spend on food, and they said a single person spends roughly only like $200 a month on food. A single person only spends $50 a week. That's if they eat home and never eat out and make all their own food. What's that? A can of soup a day? A can of soup is up to what? Almost $3 now, depending upon where you shop. Okay, and a single mother or a father with one child needs $20.18 an hour. That I don't know about too much, because it seems like a lot, because that comes to $41,570 a year. Now, grant you, the apartment cost there, it didn't state 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. But I'm going to take it that it's just it's an average cost. We'll just say a 2, because, average 1, 2, 3, whatever. So you figure probably 12,000 off of that. That's going to leave, roughly 29. And then, they're doing pretty good there. I'll tell you. I wish I was doing that good. So, that's a lot of money. But then you get to the two working adults with two kids at $13.28 an hour. That's $26.56 a piece. But now you have two kids. You have child care. There goes one income out the window right there. Okay, it totals $54,713 a year and 60 cents. So a family of four, that's tight. Especially you take the family of four, you're going to need 4-bedroom. Going to run you probably 20,000 a year, maybe more, depends. So there you get down to 34. And then you got childcare that's going to run you probably, what, about 150, 200 a week. So that's going to, I'm going to go high. I'm going to say 200. You got two kids. 200 is cheap, I think, for two kids, 100 apiece. $20 a day. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. It could be more than that, but we're just going to go with 200. So that's going to be 800 a month. It's over 10,000 a year. So now you're down to 20,000. And then a family of four, they say, will use roughly around $1,000 a month in food. There's another 12 grand gone. And then you got, kids, so you're going to have entertainment with your television, and you need the phone in case of emergencies and everything, and your electric and stuff. It don't really leave much left, especially if they're young kids and you got diapers and stuff. Okay, and then it says, regardless of family size, you can't get by on minimum wage, which in Tennessee is just $7.25 an hour. That comes to $14,953 a year. If you're a single person by yourself and you pay $12,000 a year in freaking rent, you get less than $3,000 to eat. Pay your electric bill, your television, cell phone, which I consider a luxury, but I have a landline. I don't do cell phones due to the microwaves. I don't feel like cooking my brain. It's bad enough I got to deal with the microwaves coming off the cell towers. So cost of living is high. And if you go by, like, when I was a kid, when I was working when I was 14 years old, I was making like $2.25 an hour. Gasoline was 15, 20 cents a gallon. So take the price of gasoline and you do it now, it's gone up over 100%. So basically, minimum wage, if you base it off what I made at the 2.25 by what gas is now at $2, so it's about 100%. So it should be about $20 an hour. Minimum wage should be $20 an hour if it kept up with the price of gas increases. A loaf of bread was about the same price, and now that's $2.39. So that's even more. So the government has not kept up with the minimum wage. Poverty level is way too low where people would need assistance. That should come up. But those assistance programs also need to be revamped or revised, however you want to say it, so that they can't have it forever. No one should be able to just live off the government. You got to strive to succeed in life. And anything you put your mind to do, you can do. Look what I've done. I come from a broken family. Parents got divorced when I was 16. My mother and father were having issues, and they put me in the middle because I was the smart one in the family, more or less. And my mother had me tell my father in the kitchen when they were both in there having an argument what she had talked to me about wanting a divorce. So my mother didn't tell my father. She put me in the middle and had me tell my father in the kitchen that day that she wanted a divorce. So, that plays on a kid, even at 16. So I consider that I've pretty much been on my own since I was 16. No one's really, my father or mother, have controlled me. I've done what I felt I needed to do. When I graduated high school, what was it, like 3 months later, my mom had a boyfriend and made me take his apartment for $200 a month because I was an assistant foreman at Plastican at the time. I was making a whole, $35 a day back then. That was a lot of money. So I could afford the $200 a month for the what do they call them things? doesn't even have a bedroom. You know, I had one of them couches come out of the studio apartment. That's what it is. So, you know, I haven't had it easy in life, but I've strived for everything I wanted. I've had good jobs. I've been fortunate to always have good jobs. My wife has never really had to work. I went in the military at the age of 24, late, but I was working at Sealig, a furniture manufacturing company up in Leominster, Massachusetts at the time, and they went under. So I decided to go in the military because Reagan just got in office and stuff then, and he was beefing up the military. So I went in. I figured I'd see some of the world. I went in and I did delayed entry in February. Uh, Went in June of '82, and then got married in September '82 after my A school, where I went to school for in Meridian, Mississippi, for aviation storekeeper. So I handled all the finances and everything, which I've said in my other videos. Handled all the inventories and everything. I worked my way up to E5. I did. I was going to make it a career, but in 1986 I got hurt, and they misdiagnosed me. I had a broken L5, 508 disc there. My spinal cord of my neck was partially severed. I had 508 discs in my neck. I went to medical complaining about leg injuries issues because I had a lot of pain. Come to find out it was sciatica. But 6 months prior to that incident, I had cellulitis in my right leg, and they almost took my leg off from the knee down there. So they blamed it on that. And then, you know, I got out in '92, December '92, last day. Actually, you could say January 1st because they messed that getting me out too. They got me out late. I shouldn't have been in no later than the last day of December. And I didn't end out signing my last paperwork, and they backdated it. I signed it on January 3rd, and I didn't get no pay for that or nothing. But that's my issues. And then from there, I went and I did odd jobs, you know, out there. I took the SSB program from Clinton at the time, and they gave me 27,000. I paid 5,000 in taxes off that, and I took that money and I invested it in a couple of rent properties to turn into HUD houses. I had gotten one fixed up, and that was a mistake doing that stuff because HUD doesn't pay, and the people they put in, they just keep robbing you blind. So it's a never-ending process there of repairing things and making sure they have all the requirements that HUD requires. But when they end out letting their cousins steal the ACs out of the windows and stuff every month, it gets kind of costly because you're only getting paid 300 or 350 a month, and you got to buy an AC for a couple hundred every month. You know, you don't end up working out there. But you know, I ended up selling them. I broke even, pretty much, and then I went to, you know, driving tractor trailer because I got a Class A in the military, and they grandfathered me on the outside. And then I went to work for this guy who had a crane service. It was Roundtree Sod down in Jacksonville, Florida. And he had Southern Crane, and he had Atlantic Truck Lines, 3 companies, which was smart on his part because he'd take loads down South Florida and pick up the sod on the way back for his sod company, you know, so he was making it from all sides. And then he had the crane company, and I started doing the crane company because I did the tractor trailer. I would deliver sod some days, and then, you know, I do the crane also, and I liked it, so I started my own business. I started it in '97, and I shut it down in '07. Well, actually, end of '96, I think it was, actually beginning of '97, something like that. And then I shut it down in '07 after carrying it for a couple of years. That's why I was 140,000 in debt. And then you know, I sold them, got this house. I managed to get rid of the debt. I went to court 6 times. I did it legally, so they had nothing to stand on. I carried bad credit for 7 years, but to get rid of 20,000 a year in debt, it was worth it to me. My credit's good again. No one's been screwing with me yet in that aspect. And I went on to disability. I went into Social Security disability in '09. I started fighting the VA in '95. I got my first check in November 2013. Little one. I was supposed to get back pay all the way to 95. I didn't get a dime, not even a penny. Going to the judge in DC. I disagreed with them, and they closed my case anyway. Submitted the letter, never heard back. Next thing I do, I call them up, and they said, "Oh, they closed it." So I'm thinking of starting up again because they didn't give me nothing for my neck. They just did my lower back. Um, so I strived to get my business going and things like that. I kept getting turned down to get financing to buy a truck. Finally, I got someone to trust me, and because to start a business, you can't have a job. So you want to go buy a piece of equipment that costs $90,000, and you ain't got a job. You ain't going to get no funding. So what I ended up doing was I leased a truck with a boom on the back, and I was doing some tree work. I was told I was like the best in the city in Jacksonville, Florida, at tree removal with a crane, a small crane though. And it worked out. I rented it for 4,000 a month. I was making like 8,000. I was busting my ass too, man. And then I was able to walk into a 1979 Ford Louisville with a National 600C on the back, which is a 15-ton with 70 feet of main boom with a two-part jib for another 42 feet. But I didn't really like the jib. It just added weight to it because, I never really needed it. One time I did. I went down on one of the roads down there, and I put a clock up in a tower in a building. I needed both jibs out. It was like 140 feet or something like that. No, it wasn't 140. Well, then you height from the ground, length of the boom, about 125. So, I did that. That's the only time I really used that. But, like I said, if you put your mind to it and strive for things, you can do it. You just got to have, excuse me, you just got to have faith in yourself. That's the number one thing. Faith in yourself. And don't take no for an answer. Keep striving, and you can get there. So that's what I'm doing now, running for U.S. Senate here. Government's messed up. The people that we elect do not work for us. That's why I said in one of my videos, the election financial system needs to be changed so that the people that are running are not working for their donors. All the donors should donate to the parties. The party should regulate the publicity and stuff that the candidates get, because a party would have the money. They should set up debates across the state and have them televised. I don't think anybody needs a commercial, to get the name recognition. If people don't want to watch, they're not going to vote. Really, they don't care. So why do you want to go out to them except for name recognition? And then they go up there and say, "Oh, I heard this guy. Woo, let's vote for him. I seen him on TV doing a commercial." But then you got people like me out there that don't have the money, that don't get known. So if I could get some money from the people, a dollar, go to my Schuster campaign, CAPAI1, not the N, not the G. After the I, there's a 1. That is my Twitter. And there's a button you can click up there, donate. Dollar will do. Heck, I get 500,000 people to donate a dollar. That's a lot of money. I can do quite a few commercials and get my name recognition out there. Okay, right now, like I said, I'm just using my stimulus money at 1,200. I'm going to some of these GOP things, let people know I'm out there. I get up on the stage, the same stage Manny and Haggerty and all the other guys are getting up on, and I get to say my piece in front of them people. So, and I have said, Manny, when I was at one of them, said that he thought he had in the bag. He didn't know who I was. I was in line for the buffet. They had a buffet there. And he was talking to a guy beside me and my wife, and we both overheard him saying that he's got it in the bag. I told him later on. I said to him, I said, "You're kind of cocky, and kind of better watch out because you're overconfident." So he hasn't really said anything. All he does is, in his commercials is say, "Hey, are you sick and tired of this?" Well, me too. Everybody's afraid to be called a racist. Well, I did a video the other day, and he is talking about race. He said, "You want to call me a racist? Call me a racist. I got Cherokee Indian in me. I'm not all European. Like I said, I don't see no blacks out there. I don't see no whites. I see colored people. We're all colored people. But yet the NAACP won't do nothing for European people with that in their blood. But let me change that. Yes, they do, because the African skin color overrides the European in them people. And the only reason why they really say they're black is so they can get all the advantages that are there that the so-called white people can't get. They took away all that stuff in the 60s that the white people had, but yet the black people can still have it. They called us having it racism, but it's okay for them to have it. You need to watch that video. Okay? All right. Well, you have a good day, night, evening, whatever. Watch my videos. You'll see that I'm not a stupid person. My New England accent makes me sound a little stupid because of the accent, but I'm not. I'm a very bright person. When I went into the military and I took the test, they wanted me to go in the nuclear field. That ought to tell you a little something. I scored real high on that test. So, look me up, find out about me, find out about everybody. You can go to Ballotpedia. I've been contacted by League of Women Voters and everything. I'm out there. Look us up. Okay? God bless you in the United States and the state of Tennessee. And y'all have a fantastic day.